Hey guys, I'm Thirteen here. I'm gonna make a video about riding motorcycles for a change. Well, scooters, motorcycles, it applies to both equally. I keep meeting tour guests. I give tours in Taiwan, riding tours, and I keep getting tour guests from around the world, and I keep seeing the same thing again and again and again and again and again. Someone writes to me and they tell me they want to go riding for a day or two or five, whatever. And I ask them, do they have riding experience? And they tell me, yes, lots. I've been riding for years and I've ridden around multiple countries. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's a lot. So, and then they show up and they don't know how to ride. And I've seen this since the very beginning of my tours. I remember specifically, I had one guy do my very first, well, technically my second tour, and he was from California, and he was very athletic and cool, and I think he crashed like 3 times, and it was just like, and the reason is because a lot of people who ride motorcycles have never done a track day. They don't know how to take corners at high speeds. They don't know how to corner, period. All they ever do with their motorcycles is ride in the city, and they slow down to like walking pace to do turns at intersections. And then, so all they've ever done on a motorcycle is kind of like straight lines in cities. And there is, like, you might think I'm talking about like a minority of, no, I'd say this is, let's say at least 50% of riders fall into this category of they've never actually ridden their bike the least bit aggressively. They just know how to do like straight lines pretty much. One of the early indicators of this is whenever you put me on a new vehicle, like a new motorcycle or scooter or something like that, one of the first things I do is I weave, because that instantly tells me how much pressure I need to apply on the handlebars to turn. Do I need to push hard? How much do I need to move the handlebars to get the bike to move? And yeah, so, and I have a saying, and this is my own: the best place to learn to corner and turn a motorcycle is on a straight road. You don't wait until there is an actual corner to learn how to corner, because if you're at the corner, it's too late. You either need to do it well or you crash, you know. But not if you're going really slow, and then you can just putt around it like an old lady. But the problem is that on my tours we don't ride the speed of old ladies. We do quicker than that, because it's dangerous to be riding the speed of an old lady when you've got tour buses and construction trucks riding your butt. So we need to go quicker than an old lady for safety's sake. And a lot of riders can't do that. What do I mean by learn how to corner on a straight? So let's say this is a new vehicle that I'm sitting on that I've never ridden before. This is a straight road. So one thing you should try to do is a U-turn. A U-turn is one of the most difficult things to do on a motorcycle, period. So there, I just made a U-turn. Oh, and see this road? It has segmented. Let's actually get further back. Let's get more of a runway here. Oh, I'm stupid. We're already out of... Oh, no, it's still here. I'm like, this double solid yellow is here. We lost the segmented, but they're still segmented on my side. Just not very clear. So this is what I love. I love, if I'm on a new vehicle, I get these segmented whites here. So of course, to do this, you need an empty road, and this road is about as empty as it gets. So you ride along and you go between the segmented whites, like this. So what I'm doing is I'm learning, and then as I speed up, I'm actually getting good lean right now. If I were hanging off the bike, I'd probably be getting my knee down. So I'm not telling you to go that extreme right off the bat, but see what I'm doing? I'm giving myself something to go around, like cones. You know, like you see people learning how to do riding and other things, and they use these orange cones and they weave through them, because weaving is amazing. Weaving, first of all, you need to know how to put your bike into a lean, and then while leaning, you need to be able to figure out how to get it to lean in the opposite direction. So anytime, even when I'm running by myself and I'm not recording, I'm not with a group, I will often do that. I'll just kind of weave. Here's the thing. As long as you're riding in a straight line, you're not improving. I don't care if you're riding a motorcycle. So imagine someone who's never ridden before in their entire life, okay? And then they're in Australia, which has some of the straightest roads in the world, longest and straightest. So they get on the motorcycle and they're on one of these straight roads. And they start it up, they've never ridden before, and then they're letting out the clutch, and they're doing everything that they learned to get the bike started. And then they're rolling. Okay, they're rolling, and the road is straight. So they just keep going straight for mile after mile after mile. And going straight on a motorcycle is the same as sitting on a couch. You don't even need to, if you're rolling quick enough, you don't even need to put your hands on the handlebars. You can just take your hands off, put them on your lap. So how is sitting in a chair improving your riding ability? I'm not sure what's to the left here. Let's take this road here. Actually, no, I do know what's to the left, and we don't want to go that way. So, yeah, that's the thing. Some people are like, oh, you know, I have 1 year's experience, 2 years experience, 5 years experience riding. If you've only been riding in straight lines for the majority of that time, then you don't actually have 5 years experience, because as long as you're riding straight, you're not improving. There's no skill being learned, there's no muscle memory, there's nothing. So you can pretty much minus every straight, every minute spent riding straight off the amount of time that you've been riding, and then try to figure out how much you've actually ridden. So right now we're on a straight road. There's a car in front of me, but there's nothing behind me, and there's nothing approaching. Well, there's one scooter. But yeah, so this segmented, so now I'm still mostly going straight, but because I'm playing around with this swerving, my skill is actually going up. As long as I'm doing that, my skills and abilities in riding are improving. And as long as I'm going straight, I'm not improving. Nothing's improving. Oh, this guy's gonna stop. Man. Okay, that's fine. It's like stopping on a yellow. Yeah, so, and then and people, the vast majority of people do not take advice. They do not learn, they do not improve. So I get tour guests, and then I start riding with them, and I'm riding like, oh, this is somewhat funny and interesting, I think. I do this, I have these different levels that I ride at. I think I've mentioned this before. Anyways, the first time you ride with me, I will only use one hand. I will ride one-handed. And I do that to force myself to ride slowly. And not only do I ride one-handed, but I kind of pretend that my toddler, my 3-year-old toddler, is standing in front of me. Because I ride with my toddler a lot. And when I ride with him, I ride extra slow and extra safe. And when I say extra slow and extra safe, do I mean like under the speed limit? No. Do I mean I do the speed limit? No. I'm still going over the speed limit. I'm just not going over it as much as I normally do. Which is funny, because the other day I was actually riding with my toddler, and I felt that I was riding like really slowly. But I wasn't just riding slow. I was riding slow and like hyper alert. Like I was just being extra safe. I'm always extra safe with him, but that day I noticed I was riding like extra safe. I don't know. Maybe I had a bad feeling, so I was being even more cautious than I normally would be with him on the scooter. And I noticed, and then I glanced down at my speed to see how quick extra safe is, and I was still doing like 20 kilometers an hour over the speed limit. And then some of you immediately, especially, you know, the Karens and whatnot, are like triggered by that, and like, how dare you do over the speed limit with a child, especially a toddler, or on a motorcycle? That's just so, you should have him taken away. I should call Child Protective Services, whatever. But the thing is, at that speed, we're getting passed regularly by other scooters and cars. And if I went any slower than that, then the cars and scooters passing us would be passing us at accelerated rate of speed, they'd be flying by us. And if we're riding so slowly that scooters, motorcycles, and cars are flying past us, that's dangerous. So if I'd gone any slower, I'd be putting my child in danger. That's why I hate when people talk about speed limits. Speed limits don't mean anything. Like, especially in Taiwan, if I'm on a, like, there's a road I do to work, and the speed limit, it's a narrow, like, farming road. It's a narrow country road. It's it doesn't have any painted lines on it. It's two-way traffic, but it doesn't have, like, yeah, it's not, there's no segmented lines or double solid. It's just this narrow country road. But it's long and it's fairly straight. And a lot of people know that this road is a shortcut. So the speed limit on this road is 30 kilometers an hour. And if I'm doing 70 kilometers an hour on this road, which is like more than double the speed limit, I'm still getting passed by other people. I still got cars riding my butt, and that's dangerous because it's a narrow road and I got a car tailgating me and I'm on a scooter. So yeah, I do much higher than 70 so that I don't get anyone tailgating me. And the speed limit is 30. So, but like, can you imagine if I did 30 on that road? I'd be a speed bump. Cars normally do that road at like between 60 and 80 kilometers an hour. So the speed limit on any given road is irrelevant if the average flow of traffic is higher than it. What's the safest possible speed to ride a motorcycle? Slightly faster than the flow of traffic is the correct answer. And that's not up for debate. That's been studied. That's the correct answer. If the speed limit is 60 and everyone's doing 50, you should do 53, 55. If the speed limit's 60 and everyone's doing 80, you should do 85. It doesn't matter what the speed limit is. What matters is the flow of traffic. And the safest possible speed for a motorcycle is one where you're not being tailgated or having people regularly approaching you from behind. So you need to ride a little bit faster than the flow of traffic, and that's the safe, because then you're not worried about getting hit from behind, or you're worried about it much less, and you're more focused on what's in front of you, and you can control how you pass people much more so than you could control how other people pass you. Well said. Thank you. You're welcome.